All right, everybody. So probably nobody's here. Uh, Looks good. So this is a precap for Nitti and Ricca. The reason I picked those is that they are mostly accepted. All right. So we're gonna start with the members. So this is a fresh division. Nitti is not. It doesn't look to be one with tons of developed teams. So starting striker has Chaos. This is clearly a Greenhorn-esque, so they've got some games under their belt because they're 1050. What's he got? Mighty Blow and Sure Hand. So he's got a ball carrier and a Beastman that's good for punching things. And oh, his Minnow already took a niggle? That's so. A lot of people think Minnows are already a liability, but now you got one. Let's do this. Now you got one that's even more of a liability because it's niggled. So I still like the Minnow on Chaos. He's rocking 11 players, 2 rerolls, no Apo yet. So he might look to pick up the Apo. He might be looking to pick up another Beastman. He might be saving to replace the Minnow. Not sure, but that should be fun for him. Let's turn down the game volume for me. All right, so next up, Chaos Dwarfs. Sinister, so this is Nexus. Lucky enough to not be in the super developed Elf division, I think. Just a couple block bowls. So that's huge for reliability, but not a big deal on the kill side. So those are good levels for him. They're going to serve him well, but they're not going to really... It's not like having elves that just break things. Other than that, let's look back at this team. Come on. 6 blockers, 2 bowls, 3 hobos. Pretty straight up everything you want. Maybe a bench, but he's got the money for the bench. Next up, Sparkin with his Skaven. Come on. So, 2 Smoke Vermin, 4 Gutter Runners, a Thrower, rocking 11 men. So, I guess you have to go 11 men if you want all of that with 3 rerolls and an Apo. Man, that seems like a lot of stuff for 1,000 TV. So that's a pretty good build. Probably he's looking to get rid of the thrower eventually, but maybe not. Some people rock them. Dark Elves. Go. So Callisti is Dark Elves. Let's see what build he took. Just a bare bones, 4 Blitzer, 1 Runner. I have come to prefer having a Witch out the gate, which means you drop the Runner and you take a Witch instead of this Blitzer. I just think that the mobility and the Frenzy makes such a big difference because Frenzy and move 7, you can 1-turn with that. So it's nice to have that option. She is less reliable because she lacks block, and you're going to probably punch with her. And she's AV7 like the Runner. So either way, 7-piece. I don't hate the Runner, especially if the goal is to rush leader. But I have taken 1 reroll builds and rushed leader, and it worked out okay for me. I got lucky. Next up, another Dark Elf team. This is seeming like last season. Lakin or Lakin, whatever his gamer tag is. See, he went with the Witch. So that's good. We've got 2 Dark Elf teams, 2 different builds. We'll see how they go. Both pretty standard builds. You know, for another 50k, you can drop... Yeah, if you drop 1 reroll, you can get like a Runner and another Witch. Or another Blitzer and a Runner, or a Blitzer and an Assassin. There's a lot of things you can do if you're willing to start with 1 reroll, but not really worth it on Dark Elves. They're not like Woodies. Ball Boy Blue and his Necro. See what's up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zombies, both fleshies. So he's gone with the 1 ghoul start, 2 werewolves. Oh, 1 reroll. 1 reroll. The cojones. I love it. I love it. You know, if you drop the ghoul, you can get another reroll in exchange for the ghoul, and then get another zombie. That to me feels like a better start, but I like the cojones of this. Mr. Richie Rich coming up We'll see. We'll see. This Richie Rich the Ghoul might just die game one, and then it feels bad, man. But then he'll have enough to either replace it or buy a reroll and rock a loner. So a nice start, strong team at the gate. And the last of the people who've accepted their tickets is Camus and his Chaos, but he's got like the Nurgle sticker, the icon. Come on, that reminds me just so much of Nurgle. Bare bones, 3 rerolls, 4 warriors, all the beasts. You know, that's the way to go, I think. I think you can drop a warrior and a reroll and take the minnow. And I kind of like the minnow, but I have a guys, and I'm not usually min-maxing for effectiveness, so that is what it is. But bare bones, yeah, start 3 rerolls. How many rerolls did Striker have? And how many warriors did Striker have? Let's go back and look at that. He had all the warriors and is lacking a reroll, so he dropped a reroll to just upgrade a beast to a minnow or buy the minnow. He's 1090. He's got quite a bit of TV here extra. And at exactly 1,000, yeah, you would have to our ball, not your ball. That was Striker. At exactly 1,000, you'd have to drop a reroll to upgrade one of them, and then you have 10k kicking around. So good builds, pretty standard so far. Invited, we've got ogres, the happy huggers. Okay, this is the important part. How many ogres? How many ogres? I don't know yet. Hopefully Cyanide hasn't kicked me. 4 ogres. 4 ogres. 3 rerolls, 1 Apo, 4 ogres. That's... I know a lot of people say you're supposed to do that, like with vampires and ogres. You go 4, and you go with all the rerolls, but I don't know, ogres. Just let them all fail everything. Hopefully he's rewarded for this. Hopefully he gets a lot of good SPP early out the gates. And 2 underworld teams, because that's just how things go. Neither of them looks too good inducement builds. So we've got Oni Goku, rocking 1, 2, 3, a 12-man roster with both throwers, both blitzers. So he's got all that. 3 rerolls and Apo. Personally, I would drop a reroll and grab 2 more goblins, and then you could vow with it. 70k rerolls are really expensive. I have kind of learned to rock 2. It is a little bit dicey. And if he's willing to use the rerolls, if he goes in on the 4 pluses and things once in a while and uses the rerolls, great. I tend not to make use of them. So 3 rerolls for me is too much for Underworld. Nothing wrong with it. 12 men, though, makes me nervous, especially if he comes up against Jorks first or something. The goblins might just upgrade him. Roto. Also rocking the same build. I mean, like, I know you don't have to go full on Knuckle Altar, which I do a lot these days and is now dying in CCL. But that's not much of a bench. I prefer the bench. And for the cost of 1 reroll, or for the cost of a Skaven. So for the cost of a Skaven thrower, which is kind of a bloaty piece to me to have 2 of, you can take 2 goblins on this team in place of the thrower, and then you've got a 1-man bench and 3 rerolls, or you drop a reroll and take 2 goblins and go with a 14-man roster. The 13 is kind of the minimum to play, the 14 is looking at foul. And it really depends on how comfortable you are with more Agi 2, or Strength 2. But, you know, they went with the standard build. Good on them. You have to be really okay with failing a lot of things to rock a 2 reroll build from Fresh Underworld. No wait, Nelson. I don't want Nelson. That's my division. Okay. We're in Ricca, right? No, we're in Nitti. There we go. So, let's take a look at the schedule. Oh, the schedule hasn't been developed because nobody's accepted their tickets. All right. Ricca. 7 people. Ricca's the party div. This is the party division. So Ricca is all the teams that started with 3 games that were incredibly well developed. So you can see a 1350 in 3 games. So that's part of why this elves that do that is why this division is built this way. We tried to protect the really fresh teams from some of these abusively good elf teams that get good in 3 games. So they're still only with other teams that have 3 games. We'll start with Jolly. So this is LZRG, I believe. He's already got tackle. He's got a wrestle lino, fair bit of dodge already. He's got 90K in the bank, so he's plenty of bank. Run and lean on 11 players. I'm assuming he knows how to rock it because he played Pro Elves a couple seasons ago. So this is solid development for a couple games. How many games does he even have? 2-0-1, so he's played 3 games. Got quite a bit of SPP. You know, this dancer's going to be at 16 pretty quick. This dancer's going to level probably his first game of the season. The thrower's already MVP ready. You know, 8, 9, 7. So he's got a lot of SPP concentrated. He's not running any catchers, so he doesn't have to worry about the strength 2. Probably he's saving for a catcher, I would guess, and that's why he's got this money and not another elf. But that's a decent start, and it'll serve him well. Bobophobic's high elves. Let's see how abusive these guys are. Come on, sir. All right. Agi 5 catcher, and then 2 dodge elves. So he is rocking a loner, so he's actually at 1140 TV with the loner. But Agi 5 already to start the season. That's going to be some BS coming. So if this player can stay alive long enough to get like block or dodge, it's going to be crazy. And he may just rock with Agi. He may take like strip ball or wrestle or something first. But that's some good development. 12, so this guy's going to be blodged soon. These blitzers and the other catcher are all within TD range. The thrower, I would expect to throw 2 passes the first game and level up. So he's going to have a fair bit more. You know, it's not out of the question to say he's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels in the first 2 games, maybe. You know, if he scores twice a game on the right players, you're talking about 4 elves leveling up here, and this guy will level pretty quick. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes on another 100 TV a game or 2 in, and he's up in the 1200s. Gunner 2-3, pedal to the pedal is wood elves. I'm assuming if they're in the abuse, yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I assume that he's taken some losses. So 3 more elves is 1170 with 80 in the bank. He went with a 1 reroll build, or maybe no, it was a 1 reroll build. I doubt he started them with 0 rerolls. I think you have more positionals then. But maybe he had 1 guy. Already got leader and strong arm on the thrower. This catcher is going to level very quickly with just a vanity pass. Strip, already and a blodge catcher about to hit, probably blodge step. So these guys are coming along. They've got a lot of concentrated SPP up here. And on the thrower, they're not going to care about the loners. Probably having the loners is good. You just put them on the line, let them die, whatever. He's got the SPP where he wants it, and he's well poised to jump into this season, level up a catcher, just do abusive things with this thrower, right? Because this thrower's throwing 2+, you know, short passes, 3+ long passes, and 4+ bombs out the gate with a reroll on it. It's a good thrower. Another high elf team, Grazy. So Grazy has played some name teams before. Let's see if he is this season. Doesn't look like it. Already got blodge on both his blitzers. He's got leader on the floor, so he's rocking 3 rerolls now. Niggle picked up a niggle. He's picked up some injuries, but he's probably going to hold those players around. These catches are still good, even niggled. So he's not as developed with the other elves. He's also going to be another 70 or 140 above this. So he's 11, 10 or something, somewhere in that range, depending on those counts. So he's at a decent TV. Come in, having 2 blodge. Most of the other elves don't have too many blodge. Epical 1, again with the wood elves. This is our elf division, just coming in here strong. Aging it up. This was a 0 reroll start. Had to be with this many positionals. Whew. 2-1-0. 15 catches in 3 games. That's 5 catches a game. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. So he went with the tree now, or at least now has a tree. 2 dancers, strip and tackle. 2 blodge catchers, a guard catcher, leader, and kick. He's on 12 players. This is the only Woody team with a bench. This team is insane. This team is really good already. 1350. You know, he's had a higher TV, but that's a really good team. I don't think any of these elf teams are bad, but some of them are coming along faster than others. I miss Super Base, so let's go back. The bigger than Chuck. All right, so he's joining in the Season of Rats. Juggernaut on his Rat Ogre, so clearly he's blitzing with that. He's got a Claw Mighty Blow. Oof. You got to be looking to replace this guy with an Agi Bust. Like, that's something that he can't survive. He can't really do his job sometimes. It will get in the way. If it was a Move Bust or an AV Bust, maybe you rock it on a leveled one, but he's probably saving up to replace this, I would guess. Raj and Blodge on his gutters. He's got a Move Busted gutter. So he's already got a couple pieces he needs to replace. Lots of Lion Rats about to level. Probably you don't want that, but you'll take it. But having Claw on this piece already would help. Not in this division, right? It's mostly elves, so I would expect the Rat Ogre to do things, though, with Juggernaut. Unfortunate to have a couple pieces already broken. And now, the team that I think is going to have the most fun looking at this division, Batblood's Dwarfs. So, assuming Batblood knows how to dwarf, I think he's in for a good time. I don't know that he'll win every game, but I think he'll get some SPP. Right, so he's got a roller build, so Striker loves that. He will be down. He is down a player, so his first game, when the roller leaves, he'll be no enhancements yet. Okay, he'll be down a player, which is unfortunate, but if he gets enough attrition, he can manage it, depending on how fast the elves score. Got a Mighty Blow. Got a pending level, which is probably also Mighty Blow. I'm not sure you need much guard in this division with all the elves. You just take the 2+ punch. Trust that you're at a 50% knockdown on most of the pieces because of tackle, and go for attrition, I would think. One runner, one blitzer, one troll slayer. So he went heavy on the long beards to get the death roller. And this is just an MNG, right? Oh, Niggle Dwarf. You can hang on to that though. He's still armor 9, thick skull. So I think he's well in this division. It's unfortunate that his roller will probably go out in the first game, and well, definitely will go out. Probably leave him down in the first game, but hopefully he can get some attrition to make up for that. Invited, we have Necro, Lizard, and Kislev. So let's look at the Necro team. Hole's Necro team. Already got a black hole and a white level. Has 3 and 4 SPP on the flush columns, so Patrick Roy needs to score, which is rough, but you can do. But just if Billy Smith gets a Kaz on one of those elves, he'll level up and be ready to take on block or guard or whatever. Don't know what this white level is, but probably it's guard. I think that's what you usually take first on Necro whites. So, coming along. Got a dirty player in the works. Flush Golem SPP is always good. No Ghoul, so you don't have that 87 player out there waiting to just die with no regen. Lizardmen from Dionasty, Raijin. Well, Dionasty is the name. So, no Crocs. Is that right? Yeah, no Crocs. 1140, so he's probably saving for the Crocs. Got a diving catch. Or is that just regular catch? That's regular catch. I'm sorry. Come on, Sinai. He's got catch and diving catch, so he doesn't have each of those skills. On Skinks, another 5 SPP Skink, and then Saurus coming along. Probably just that this is 1140 TV is why it was placed up here, is that it's bought a lot of stuff. You know, that's just like buying another reroll and an Apo or something. Like that's Not a lot of development to speak of, but lots of TV still. And last but not least, Sterex Kislev. Block, sure hands, kick, block. So they're coming along. They don't have the bear. They're on 11 men with 4 rerolls and an Apo. So they're going to be leaping around a fair bit with all those rerolls. Not the most reliable team. They only have 2 block so far. But I would assume that he's going to prioritize getting this second blitzer up to block or something. I'm not sure how you play Kislev. I know that most of the time I hear of people using linemen as the sackers just because they're cheaper. And you use your blitzers for good stuff. Put like guard on one and leap him in, and then you put wrestle tackle on one of these linemen and go leaping. But coming along slowly, not as developed as the elf teams, but again, still at 1140 TV, which is respectable for 11 men. So again, with this division, I would expect the dwarves to have a good time against all these elves and Skaven, if because they've got all the skills they need. Uh, Skaven team does have Claw Mighty Blow, so if the dwarves don't yet have guard when they face off, the Skaven could do some damage or open up some holes and just run up the score. Hey. Lizards and Necro. So you've got another claw team in the Necro, which is the dwarfs are not going to appreciate that, or neither are the lizards. So the Skaven and the Necro, I think, are going to have interesting matchups against the lizard. The rest of it's just elf teams, and then Kislev, which is kind of an elf team, but throws worse dice when they throw them. So we'll see how that division shakes out. It's the party div for sure. Back into Nitti to think a little bit about who's going to do what. uh, Striker inspired. I hadn't noticed that, Batblood, actually. Oh, an Agi for white? That is brilliant. That is great. So you're up here elfing too then. You're going to be elfing too. Oh, I got pinged on the hit list. All right. So hopefully you guys are going to have fun in that party division. We have Chaos, Chaos Dwarves, Skaven Elves, another Chaos, a couple Underworld. Oh yeah, this is the division where 7 teams in, we had Chaos, Dwarves, Skaven, Chaos, Underworld, Underworld. And we were like 6 or 7 teams in, and it was just all like mutation teams. It was great. And then they ran out. So I'm not sure how to call this division. The Chorfs and Chaos, well, the Chorfs are going to have a good time with the 2 Underworld teams and the Elves and Skaven. Like, those are reasonably good matchups. I kind of want to see the Ogres go off. Because if the Ogres go off, it'll just be awesome to see what damage they can do. And that'll really shake up the other matchups. Even if the Ogres don't take the division, if they do enough damage, they can make the king. They can be a king breaker, right? They can play Kingslayer, and they can just play spoiler, not for their games, but for the games the week after. If you're playing one of these Elf or Skaven teams and they just crush you, your next game's gonna be much harder. So I'd like to see them play that role of at least spoiling 1 or 2 games, whether they take the division and run with it or not. If they can spoil a game or 2 by breaking things, I would be satisfied with that. Yeah, I was hoping they had a heavy ogre start. That's more fun. But it is I feel less effective. I don't know. You're playing stunties. Like, why are you worried about effectiveness? Um, you know. Anyway, anything else you guys want to hear about this? I can't. Everybody hasn't accepted their tickets, but I'm excited to see this party div. You got all these elves and leveled up stuff everywhere. Sounds like we've got potentially an IG4 white on the Necro team, which would put you at like 1130 TV. That would be a high TV team. Would keep up with the elves. And I really want to see the Kislev go off. I know they have a hard time early on compared to some of these other teams, but they've it'll be interesting. There's not too many Bash teams in here. So in an Elf-Off, I wonder how Kismet do. I feel like they probably do better in an Elf-Off because you only need the one or two guys to be effective, and everyone else just kind of takes positioning so that the one or two effective guys can do their thing. Um, anyway, I think that's going to do it for the pre-cap for now. I may or may not be reviewing these divisions when the season goes, but I wanted to get some content out there since it's Div Day. I know everybody's super excited, so I just wanted to put something out there while it was still going. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.